April 2024, Taiwan. One epic family road trip with a feisty 4-year-old. From the bustling streets of Taipei to the misty peaks of Alishan, and the old school charm of Jiufen and Shifen. Watch how we made it all happen. Buckle up, it's gonna be a wild ride. What's up, party people? Let's dive in. It's been a year and a half since we went on the trip to South Korea with Zachary.
And I look at all the countries. Wait, is that Taiwan?
Malaysia. Here's Malaysia.
Taiwan.
Taiwan. That's
In
right.
our trip to Taiwan, we kept in mind the lessons we have learned, such as bringing our own child seat for rental cars, being super flexible with our plans, and managing tantrums with bribes, incentives. With our experience under our belt, we were confident that Taiwan would be a much better trip overall. Despite a short train delay due to earthquake aftershocks, we arrived at Taipei main station, then walked 1 kilometer to our
We at the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. The camera.
Up there, you people. It's and Zachary.
Hashtag Zari. That's right. Anyway, it's 11:30 now. Good thing is that we are in the same time zone as Malaysia, so we're gonna call it a night and see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is a very nice morning here in Taipei, and we're on the way to Dihua, which is like the old town street here in Taipei. But first, playground break.
About 1 kilometer from our hotel in Ximending is Dihua Street, the oldest street in Taipei, dating back to the 1600s. Some of the buildings here are almost 200 years old, giving rise to the unique architecture of the area, such as the famous City God Temple. But good luck getting a 4.5-year-old to appreciate 19th century architecture. Still, Zachary was fine letting us take in all the sights as long as we kept walking. Apart from street food, most local eateries we saw were small and crowded. So we ended up at a sushi restaurant for our very first proper meal in Taiwan. After that, we did some shopping, just the essentials, such as junk food and a child toilet seat, which we forgot to pack from home. We topped up lunch with proper Taiwanese food, 卤肉饭 and wonton noodles. Zach also ate a daifuku,
And I caught it.
You want to card it? You can't card it with your finger, darling.
or at least just the strawberry part.
Do you like it? What's going on, Zach?
Working backwards.
In the evening, we explored the Ximending area around our hotel, a very popular shopping district that's often compared to Harajuku in Tokyo and Myeongdong in Seoul. By this point, Zachary started becoming cranky as he only had 5 hours of sleep and 20 minutes nap in the shopping trolley. Carrie took him back to the hotel while I stayed out to sightsee and shop for street food. Forget fancy restaurants. For me, street food is the real window into a city's soul, and Taipei's soul is bursting with flavor. An hour later, I returned to the hotel with boba, oyster omelette, and xiaolongbao, a delicious way to cap off the night. Zach was trying very hard to fight sleep by staying active, including hopping around. But eventually, we managed to get everyone in bed by 11 p.m. And we needed all the rest we could get because the next day would be a tiring one. And you will see why in a bit. We started our Saturday morning with a 30-minute walk from our hotel to NTU Hospital Station to catch a train to Xiangshan or Elephant Mountain, probably the most popular hiking trail in Taipei. FYI, prior to this trip, I started taking Zach on 2 to 3 hour long hikes just to make sure he is physically and mentally prepared. And it worked, I think. Look at him go.
Don't you run, Zach? Surprise!
Oh, yeah?
This guy just made me carry him basically 3 minutes, so I'm like all out of breath.
Anyway, at the first lookout point, we got a very nice view of Taipei 101.
You're complaining.
I don't want to hike anymore.
Okay, how about we rest a little bit more, then we go.
Even though the hike is a bit more intense than he's used to, the weather was a pleasant 10 degrees Celsius colder than back at home. But first, playground break.
Zachary, shall we hike up the mountain?
Where we start?
You want to do every stunt? We did it. Harder.
In the end, going up took us an hour and coming down was another 30 minutes, which was way faster than the 3 hours I budgeted.
Good job. High five, Zach.
As a reward, we gave Zach a second playground break. From Xiangshan, Taipei 101 is only one stop away, but of course, we were faced with a Saturday lunch crowd. There was a Din Tai Feng with a 2-hour queue, but we decided to hack the system by ordering takeout on their app, which only took 30 minutes. We ordered noodles and xiaolongbao, including their famous truffle ones. It was the most expensive takeout meal I've ever bought. And while the flavors were good, they were already quite cold when we ate them, so I do not recommend taking out. Not worth it. We topped up with a serving of Dihua for dessert, which was much better value for money.
Are you excited to go back to the hotel?
Yes.
We go to the...
Chill, holiday inn.
On the way back, I stopped by a shop that a friend of mine recommended called Crispy Milk Donuts. It's an unassuming shop in Ximending, but you can't miss it because of the crazy long queue. Be ready to wait for up to 30 minutes or longer.
Very good. It's so fresh.
While I loved the milk donuts, the taro donut was just okay.
It is 7 p.m. right now, and Zachary, do you want to go out?
No.
Mommy, do you want to go out?
No.
I think I pushed them a bit too much with the Elephant Mountain hike. So it is up to me to bring them dinner.
I went to a nearby shop run by a Vietnamese family.
Alright, dinner is served.
It was our first time trying Taiwan's national dish, beef noodles.
It kind of just reminds me of really strong flavored Vietnamese pho. The meat is what makes it so different and so special because it's so crazy tender. It just like melts in your mouth.
The night was still young, so I went out exploring by myself, heading to the nearby Dadaocheng Wharf, which was kind of like a trendy hangout spot. Right next to the shops, a traditional puppet show was just ending. From there, it wasn't too far to Dihua Street.
So it's only 9 p.m, but this place is absolutely quiet. It's really surprising compared to in the daytime. I come bearing gifts. Woo tea.
Woo!
Woo! Apparently it stands for World of Outstanding Tea. Yummy?
The tea is very different. It's very nice. It's very fragrant.
Oh, okay.
The next morning, I bought breakfast from nearby shops, or at least I tried to buy them because my friend Dominic paid for them, so I don't know how much they cost. He's the guy in blue.
We're in a hotel with Dom and Carrie and Zachary and Daddy. Oh, it's chicken. It's a chicken thigh or something.
Yeah, I got a chicken thigh.
That's cool. That's cool.
Bacon and egg.
Is that the same thing? This one?
That's the same thing as well.
Cool. Okay, that looks delicious. Okay, I also got for Carrie. I think this is ham and cheese, like pancake thingy. Cheese, omelette, and pancake. And xiao long pao better eat now before it gets cold. And then there's a hot and cold soy milk turnip cake. Turnip cake in Mandarin is lo po gao, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, lo po gao.
We caught up with Dom, who has been living in Taiwan for a while, and we told him about our plan to drive 305 kilometers to the town of Fenqihu near Alishan.
Zachary, can you show me a new toy?
Cute. Alright, will you be a good boy on this trip?
Yes.
Mummy, are we ready to go?
Yes, we are.
The car rental experience was much smoother compared to our Korea trip. I pre-booked using the Klook app, and Dom helped to translate when the Mandarin got too complex for me. We stretched our legs at a rest stop, also known as a service area, just in time for a Pokemon Go community day. In total, the journey took us 5.5 hours, including time at the rest stop and driving slowly up mountain roads.
We are now at Fenqihu, up the mountain, on the way to Alishan. Welcome to our room. Toilet. 2 beds.
No, that's one. Hotel, holiday inn. We at the
Hotel, motel, holiday inn.
For dinner, we had lunch boxes based on the Japanese bento, which were apparently made popular by the family that runs this hotel and is considered the town's trademark dish. Throughout this trip, we discovered that Zach really likes Taiwanese food, especially beef noodles and braised pork rice. But not this?
I don't want one.
Okay, no rice. Just eat a meat.
Depends on his mood, I guess. Instead of breakfast, the hotel gave each guest 100 Taiwan dollars of 7-Eleven vouchers per day.
You already had 2 ice creams today, no more. Hey, wait inside there! Come out! Don't disturb people working, you naughty boy. So this is our fridge next to the window where it's coldest in the room. Tomorrow we're gonna have a very early day because I'm going to head up to Alishan at around 3-ish in the morning. It's gonna be a very tiring day for me, so I'm gonna call it an early night. Good morning. It is 3:20 a.m. now. The chickens have been crowing for the past 1 hour. So I've been awake for the past 1 hour.
One of the reasons we rented a car for this trip was because it was cheaper to drive yourself to Alishan for the sunrise than hiring a driver. Alternatively, stay at the hotels in the Alishan area, which are also expensive. Using tickets that the hotel had bought for me in advance, I boarded the train at 4:30 a.m. The ride itself was 30 minutes, arriving at the Zhusan station. Unfortunately, it started to drizzle, but that wouldn't deter me from catching a time-lapse video of the sweet sunrise. Or lack thereof. Apparently it's been foggy the past few days, and it really depends on luck whether you see the sunrise at all. Here's how it would look like if you were lucky. I guess it's appropriate that this is the Zhusan station. You see, the Zhu character means wish, and I sure as hell wish I didn't wake up so early for this bullshit. Jokes aside, I'm glad I attempted the sunrise. And pro tip, ride the last car of the train if you want shots like this. Instead of the train, you could also walk back to Alishan station. Later, I drove an hour back to Fenqihu to take a quick 15-minute nap.
Hey, what are you doing?
1 hour later.
Back at Alishan, we bought tickets to the Jiufen station.
We are at Alishan.
Zachary, stop kissing the glass!
I can only imagine how amazing these cherry blossoms would look in full bloom, usually in March.
Blow harder?
Good job, baby. He said daisies are not pretty, dandelions are pretty because you can blow them.
From the station, we headed north, past the hotel and towards the sister ponds.
Down there. Zachary, come back up. You like that tree? Be careful, it's slippery, Zach. Oi! Oh, fell down. Go to mommy, go to mommy. We're gonna put on our raincoats. Wait, stop!
This 1.5-kilometer hike from Jiufen station to Shenmu station is probably the most popular way to experience Alishan on foot. And I'm guessing it's because the trail is mostly downhill. It was also very easy to navigate with Google Maps and the many signs along the way.
And then now, yeah! 1, 2, 3, yeah! Yeah!
Zachary, what are you doing?
You tired?
There were also some shops near this temple where you could get snacks or a meal. Eventually, we arrived at the Shenmu station and waited for the ticketing booth to open. Although there's a train every 30 minutes, they do take breaks during lunchtime, so don't forget to check the schedule. Somehow, the cherry blossoms outside the 7-Eleven next to the car park were in bloom, which made for a nice photo op.
Alright, let's go back. This will be the second time I'm driving down Alishan.
Back at Fenqihu, just down the road from our hotel was the Fenqihu Old Street. It was already 3:30 and most restaurants we found sold some variety of bento boxes, like the ones we ate the day before.
Which one is here?
It wasn't too long before Zach threw a tantrum, likely from being tired and hungry. So we quickly chose a restaurant that served dishes.
Good?
Where he devoured most of the udon noodles we ordered.
Open your mouth.
It rained the rest of the afternoon, so we didn't do much else. If the weather were better, we could have gone to a sunset viewing point or went on a firefly viewing tour.
How do you know it's delicious? Cause they tell you it is.
Delicious.
And because everything closes at 6 p.m, we bought dinner from 7-Eleven. In 1912, the Alishan Forest Railway was extended into Fenqihu. This resulted in not only the growth of the town, but the tradition of locals selling bento boxes to train passengers. As it was my last morning in this charming place, I decided to explore the Fenqihu Cedar Wooden Plank or Boardwalk Trail, a short 2-kilometer hike that starts just past the old street. Taking a leisurely stroll amongst the majestic cypress trees was a perfect way to start the day. On the way back, I bought some delicious donuts from this shop that normally gets insanely long queues in the afternoon. Yet another win for Fenqihu.
I got food. Ooh, flaky.
Super flaky.
Super flaky. Awesome. Like croissant, right? Slightly buttery. Flaky like a croissant. And only slightly sweet.
So we've checked out from our Fenqihu hotel, and today we will be heading to Jiufen, where we will be staying for the next 2 nights. It's 10:30 AM now, and the drive is about 4.5 hours, so hopefully we will reach there just in time for a late lunch. See you guys later.
Unfortunately, there was lots of traffic, forcing us to make an early stop for petrol as well as lunch. Alright, party people, we are now at our Jiufen hotel. Actually, driving on the road took us more than 6 hours. Our room is quite large. This is the bathroom, and it finally has a bathtub. The moment Zach got in here, what did he say, Mommy?
What do you think? Why you want to take a bath?
Because I want my passport because it's
Because
I want my bath bomb because I smell.
while Zachary enjoyed his bath, I made a 10-minute trek to Jiufen Old Street to buy some dinner to go.
I brought food for the wife and Zachary, but who knows how much of this he'll eat. Lu rou fan, meatballs, omelette, Taiwanese sausage with glutinous rice, taro dessert, and bubble tea. How's it? I like the flavor.
The day began with a 40-minute drive to Shifen. Fun fact, if you didn't know already, Jiufen and Shifen mean 9 portions and 10 portions respectively, and it referred to the number of families that lived in those towns in the olden days, and most tourists visit both towns as a day trip from Taipei.
waterfall. There we go.
We're at the waterfall.
As a reward for finishing the hike, we let Zachary have a frozen treat. Then walked over to Shifen Old Street for lunch. Shifen is most famous for sky lanterns, and tourists come here in droves to release them from the train tracks. Zachary loved watching them flying into the air, and he stood unmoving for almost half an hour. It costs 200 to 350 Taiwan dollars to release the lanterns, but we could clearly see the pollution caused by this tradition, so we opted not to participate this time. Instead, I got an ice cream and peanut popiah. It is often served with cilantro, but I chose not to have it so that Zach could have a taste.
We've been here for a while because Zach wants to watch the lanterns. And that guy right there has spoken like at least like 5 different languages. Mandarin, Cantonese, Thai, Tagalog, Korean, and I think I heard him speaking Indonesian as well.
Indonesian. You haven't even included English, right? Do you include English?
So far he hasn't spoken English.
I've heard a lot of opinions that Jiufen is overrated, but what people don't mention is that it is much more than just Jiufen Old Street and the Spirited Away Tea House. It is a lively mountainside and seaside town with mind-boggling geography that would take weeks to fully explore, with its own culture and even its very own cemetery.
I have whistling candy.
Which candy?
Okay, whistling candy.
Nah.
Oh,
Can you show me the whistling candy? Go downstairs. You're heading up downstairs. Go. Go, 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 go. Go.
In the evening, we headed out downhill towards the old street. The way was not well marked, and I got lost the night before trying to get back to the hotel. Google Maps wasn't too helpful, as a lot of the footpaths were people's front yards. So, with the benefit of hindsight, I took photos of the path we took. You might want to do the same.
西瓜甜甜，mango。
西瓜甜甜，芒果甜甜。That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Is it alcohol shady?
Yeah.
Soon, just like back in Ximen, Zach got bored, so Carrie took him back to the hotel while I continued exploring. I really wanted to see the famous Ame Tea House with its traditional Japanese architecture that gave rise to all the comparisons to Spirited Away. But it became insanely crowded and I didn't even notice the entrance on my right. If only I could view the tea house from somewhere else. If you want to have tea at the tea house, it is recommended that you visit in the morning when it is much less crowded. We had our dinner in the hotel dining room before calling it a night.
Pull towards you. There you go. Alright, we are saying goodbye to this hotel. We have to return this car. Zachary, will you miss this car?
Yes.
Okay, thanks Zach. We can go now.
We left our luggage at the shop, returned the car after 907 kilometers, then walked to the supermarket we visited on the first day of our trip for some last-minute shopping.
Okay, we try our best. If you don't get it, then don't cry, okay?
Immediately, Zach saw some claw machines.
Wait, okay? Okay, we try for that one, okay? Press. If you don't get it, then don't cry. 加油! Oh, actually, I might be able to. Let me try one more time.
Is it too expensive?
No.
Please, I want to try.
Okay, we try one more time. Try. Okay. Oh, didn't get it.
Oh well.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Zachary, don't do that.
Wait the glass, but
No, don't break the glass, Zachary.
Zachary.
I couldn't get it.
Yes.
Zachary, this is a game.
Is it too expensive?
Yeah.
I want to get it.
Oh,
It is work.
It didn't work.
It's okay, Daddy.
It's okay. Alright, let's go.
Let's go take
I don't want to go. No,
No,
money.
we gotta go shopping. Look for mommy.
Money.
No.
No money.
No, we have to use money for other things.
I don't want Daddy's truck. I don't want truck. I want bigger truck.
You want bigger truck?
I don't go enough.
His tantrum lasted half an hour. At one point, he was even begging for money from passers-by. I don't know whether to feel embarrassed or proud of his resourcefulness. Luckily, his tantrum ended when Carrie gave him a toy truck and told him that she won it from the claw machine.
Don't wipe on your shirt, Zach.
We have picked up our luggage from the car rental place, and check it out. I carried Zach all the way from Carrefour over to here, so yeah, this is what I get for it.
It's now time to head to Taoyuan near the airport. We had an early flight, so we booked a hotel there. We were hoping that Zach would nap on the 1-hour train ride so he'd have energy for any potential afternoon activity. Unfortunately, he didn't, so it was straight to lunch instead. By the time we were done, it was almost 4, and despite the tantrum earlier in the day, we decided to take a gamble. We deposited our luggage and made our way to the nearby Xpark Aquarium.
What is called, Zachary? Do you know?
Daddy.
Yeah, garden eel.
Our gamble paid off. The last time we took Zach to an aquarium overseas, he was too tired and just slept through the whole thing, which is why on this trip we didn't plan anything child-specific.
Yes, I found him.
Against all odds, Zach had the time of his life, especially at the penguin exhibit.
Can you see them?
Hey, Daddy. Hey, baby.
Okay, of course.
We spent a good 15 minutes waiting for penguins to go down the slide. And Zach was amused every time they didn't. He also had way too much fun clearing out trash in the virtual reef by smacking the wall. Zach immediately fell asleep after that. Overall, a very productive last day in Taiwan.
Hello, this is our last room for this trip.
By now, I was a little lazy, so we just ordered Uber Eats. Not the best for a final Taiwanese meal, but it will have to do.
So Dominic actually said scallion pancake is basically a lousier version of a Malaysian roti canai, and I am inclined to agree. But that's not to say it's not nice, it's still pretty good.
The next day, we were in the airport by 4:30. The hotel was kind enough to pack breakfast. A little bit anticlimactic, but that's it for our 2024 Taiwan trip. Much less drama than our South Korea one. We seem to be getting better at this traveling with a child thing. And as I'm editing this, we have an upcoming winter trip to Japan that's just 1 month away. Hopefully it doesn't take me more than 8 months to edit that video. Oh, I eventually made my way back to Alishan and caught the elusive sunrise.
Did I manage to get this 4 months ago? Now with them, yes. I think they bring good luck. My weather luck not that good the last time.
Alright party people, if you enjoyed this video, you can click on the link for our South Korea vlog. Thanks for watching, bye!